Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. I'm just waiting for Chris Burns from Chorley to log in. He'll be late for his own funeral, Chris, won't he? Now, lad's just rushed home from work, can he? So it shouldn't be too long. It's all good stuff, isn't it? Well, there's a lot going on today. I've heard Billy Nelson's piping up about Martin Bacoli. So I feel sorry for Martin Bacoli, to be honest, because he's like a bit of an afterthought, isn't he, really? He's treated like a Louis Ortiz type figure, isn't he? So, yeah. So it is what it is, isn't it? But I hope that Martin Bacoli gets his just rewards. And here we go. It's the sexiest man alive, Burnsy from Chorley. How you doing, Burnsy, lad? You all right, lad?
How we doing?
All right. Is that your new look?
You like that, Ross?
Hey? Oh, my.
Well, according to Tyson, he did get voted sexiest athlete alive, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the man, isn't he?
Might as well own it.
It's a picture of Elf, him and the disappearing man.
Well, he's gone quiet, hasn't he?
Oh, Tyson?
Yeah, he's gone dead quiet, hasn't he?
Right, he's either training like a Trojan or he's that busy he can't do any interviews because he keeps changing his nappy every 30 minutes. Pop, pop, bang.
Well, might be changing his nappy. Well, I think he is.
Well, bookies are not going for him, are they? For Usyk one, are they?
I mean, can you blame him?
Not really. Like, he don't cover himself in glory, does he, at times, Tyson?
Well, defensive mastermind been dropped 7 times.
Yeah, it's funny, actually. I was talking to somebody yesterday up at factory and they were going on about, it were my friend, Scott. We were going on about Tyson's career and that. I said, look, he's had 35 fights and he's been down 7 times. That's 1 every 5. But in his last 10 fights, he's been down 5 times. So that's 1 every 2. And that's the point I want to make. And these fanatical people, like, because he's like a cult, you know, he's like a cult leader. But these fanatics, they don't understand that as you get older, you have to change your style. Even Ali did. Now, Tyson can't get out of the way of punches and he can't get in position to set his feet, to plant them. Yes, he can against Dylan White and Chisora, but he struggled a bit with Ngannou. But how do they think he's going to be able to plant his feet against Usyk and get out of the way of punches? He doesn't throw as many feints. I mean, he's throwing now 75% less feints, right, than what he did against Vladimir. So he's a different type of fighter now, isn't he? And people don't understand that. That's why he's picking and choosing who he fights. He blows up in weight. And it's all pointing towards a disaster. But you've got people running around, these fanatics, they all buy into it. Look, time waits for no man. You've just seen what that Russian's done to our best light heavyweight, Anya. So what do they think Usyk's going to do to this fat blob?
Oh, Jesus, don't get me started on Batavia. I thought Callum Smith was a monster and they were going to go through all the weight.
Well, it's like Eddie Hills. He just keeps spinning narratives because they've got the platforms, haven't they? And everybody buys into it, Chris. And I just sit there and I look at them and I don't believe anything. I think the opposite. Whatever comes out the piles, I think the opposite. A bit like Big Joe Egan trying to get a fight with Big John Fury. 2 Walter Mitty types. We've got Big John Fury, 100-0 on Hard Road, icing Irish champion in 1992 for 100 bags, but forgot his name. And then we've got Big Joe Egan, the man that's saying he sparred Mike Tyson. Listen, Steve Locke says he doesn't even know who he is, and he's not on any footage of any sparring. So what sort of yarns is Big Joe spinning?
Just thingy. I remember a few years ago, basically this is way before I came on the channel. I went to one of these meetings. It was after Tyson fought Wilder the first time. I went to one of these meet and greets, and Joe Egan were there. pre-show before Big John and Tyson got on, Joe Egan were there, you know, chatting off, saying, you know, it was that Mike Tyson said I'm the hardest white man he's ever seen and this and that. I just, me and my mate sat there and just laughed, just thought it was a lot of rubbish.
It is a load of rubbish. Joe Egan, you can come on this Zoom anytime you want, Joe, and I will put you to the sword. You've been spinning that story for that long now. Even Mike believes it because his head's that messed up with all weed he smokes. Stop it, Joe. Stop. You're embarrassing. You're on the sick because you've got mental health. Now stop it. Go and get help. Go and speak to a shrink. You did not spar Mike Tyson at all. If you did, there'd be footage. Stop it. You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing the fighting people of Ireland.
I mean, not even just footage, just a photo of Mike in the ring with some gloves on and headgear. That'd be enough, wouldn't it?
Listen, mate, you might get a photo like that. We can all stand next to somebody in the gym. I've got pictures of various world champions next to gyms. It don't mean to say I've sparred them, does it?
Well, yeah, there's that.
Every time I go up to Clint Wood's house for a cup of tea, he's shadowboxing around me and popping jabs into me. Pop, 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 bang. It don't mean to say that we had a proper sparring session, me and Clinton, does it? We're just having a mess about it. Do you know what I mean? It's people get carried away and it's stolen valor. Joe Egan, big Joe Egan. You didn't spar Mike Tyson. If you did, Mike could have spoke about it. It's a load of rubbish that you've spun. Load of crap. Yo.
Do you reckon Joe Egan wants it on the soft sand, Ross?
Listen, I'll tell you what they want. He wants to make a spectacle of himself with a big bag of cash in Saudi, but over my dead body. All right? But it is what it is. If they want to do that, they can do that. If Big John's behind that, well, where were Big John at the presser yesterday?
Gone quiet now, hasn't it? I mean, what happened to Big John saying he would die in a fight and he wouldn't be denied? Well, now was his chance. He's had somebody call him out. Let's have it.
He had the opportunity to fight Mickey Theo, mate. His arsehole fell out, mate.
Oh, we know what happened with Mick, don't we?
Listen, I couldn't do any more for that, Chris. You know that, don't you? Up and down.
Yeah. We've spoke about it behind the scenes. Yeah, we know.
We know, don't we, kid?
Yeah, well, yeah, messers.
Right, can I just say, I don't know how to word this. Tony Warrior Dodson from Liverpool, his son's been stabbed in heart in Liverpool, and I hope he's all right. I know he's in hospital and that, and they've had to operate and all that. I hope he's all right, and my condolences or whatever. He's not died or anything, but I don't think it's very nice what's happened. So I hope that they're all okay. Tony.
Yeah, Warrior. Condolences to Tony Dobson.
Yeah, a Warrior.
And his son. Yeah, we don't like out like that.
Yeah. Chris, Boom Gardner, WBC have cleared her. Have we heard that one before?
Well, you know, it's just almost like it's a copy and pasting it from our old mate Crush.
The Crushinator, what's happening with him? He's quiet, isn't he?
Well, he's got a fight he's training for in Vegas, hasn't he?
What, in that ballroom?
Yeah, circus in Vegas.
Crush is after fought now when he after Saudi, and Eddie don't need Crush now, does he?
He's been kicked to the curb, and as he's a promoter himself, Old Hills 6-0. He's on Skiddy Row as well, isn't he? Being Frank's butler.
You know what? I find embarrassing? Them all clapping every time that turkey does something. They all follow, don't they, like sheep?
Old turkey neck.
Listen, mate, that'll be killing Eddie having to call him His Excellence and all that. It'll be ripping him to bits, honestly. Trust me, because we all know what Eddie's like, don't we? He's a narcissist, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, this turkey bloke, I mean, I tell you, I know I told you I've been speaking to today, and who does this bloke? How has he got in boxing, this man? I mean, come on. I mean, he stood on that balcony saying, we're having this. Oh, this concept art is a cartoon Street Fighter. Listen, Turkey, your concept crap. Who gives a monkeys about Joshua and Ngannou? Who's asked for that fight?
Well, nobody's wanted that fight. We want Fury Usyk and we want Joshua Fury. That's what we want. We wanted Joshua Wilder. They couldn't give us that, could they?
No.
Why not Joshua Zhang then?
I mean, it seems to me, Russ, Parker's fighting, Joseph Parker, the Stinkinator, he's fighting everybody Joshua should be fighting. Wilder first, now he's fighting Big Bang Zhang.
Yeah, I know. He's
I mean,
massive.
we get behind that, won't we, Russ? Joshua and Bang.
Yeah, we could get behind Joshua versus Zhang because they've got history. You'd have thought Eddie had been writing scripts and Spotty Frank now, wouldn't you, for that?
What, Joshua Bang, World War Two?
Yeah, because they fought in the Olympics, so there's some intense beef there.
Is it fried beef?
It's why if it's Zhang, isn't it?
I mean, listen, he's a big lump, Zhang, but I can get behind it. He can bang Zhang. Fair play to him. End of the day, he put Joe Joyce in his ass after all them bone density horror stories that were getting spun by his manager Sam Jones.
Yeah. Do you think if Zhang gets a good payday in his next fight against Parker, he'll get that current lasered off his face?
He might do.
Hey, go on.
I was going to say, even that, he can go to Cosmetic Beach and get an hair transplant.
Yeah, they do all that. Cosmetic Beach, they'll take your money off you. Don't be worried about that. They're not behind it. It's been brought to my attention that, hang on a minute, let me introduce them first. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths. The Smiths have now started Global Fighters Union to boost standards for fighters, and it says, brothers Paul and Stephen Smith have today announced the launch of the Global Fighters Union. The GFU will unite fighters worldwide to address universal challenges in combat sports. As members of the GFU, fighters will gain access to a wide range of services, including advice on contracts, improved pay and benefits, and expert help in addressing issues such as insurance, pensions, retirement planning. Founders including Paul Maloney, former leader of the Southern GMB Union, Paul Macaulay, Labour Party activist sitting on the Executive Committee for Labour in Business, Paul Smith, a British champion and former world title challenger, and Stephen Smith, former Commonwealth champion, are happy to see this addition to combat sport. Good idea, but would it work in combat sports? Yes or no?
No.
Who's
Just
that?
another one of them.
They've got managers.
Yeah, they got all these lads like Sam Jones who ain't got a clue what he's on about, running their careers for him. Well, end of the day, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. But waste of time, really, innit? It should be the board doing that, not the Smith brothers.
Yeah. Do you think Paul Smith and Stephen Smith are looking for roles? Because I thought Stephen Smith's a trainer now. We need training Charlie Edwards.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I worked Paul Smith meant to be Darren Till's manager.
Yeah. He's what's Darren Till doing these days? Is he boxing?
Hey, I don't know. He's back in MMA by the looks of it. He's got his buddy over Chimaev, who's his sparring partner from he's a Kazakhstan lad, and he's got him over in the UK at the minute doing a bit of sparring and stuff MMA. So yeah, I don't think he's doing boxing.
I wonder how Paul Smith will explain to his fighters about making weight, because I heard he was laid in Bath about 4 days before he fought Andre Ward, half a stone overweight, and didn't even want to take any weight off. What's all that about?
I mean, it was in the sauna, Russ. It was in the sauna with the towel wrapped round, trying to sweat it all out the hard way.
It's like telling Dave Allen he should manage fighters, isn't it? Well, I look at it like this: how you manage your own career? How can you be trusted to manage other fighters? You see, it's like being a mechanic, innit, and working from home, and your car being knackered all the time and that, and you're putting a sign in back garden saying, "Yeah, we're doing mechanics here from my house. Fetch your car around here," and you're driving around in a bag of shit that keeps breaking down. Who's gonna fetch the car to you?
Driving around in Isaac Lowe's Passat.
What? Metallic light blue on a 57 plate with a red bonnet. 2 barrels of cherry Reddit boots. Pop, pop, bang.
Russ, all I'm going to say about Paul Smith, and all of them, the 4 of them combined, the best win. What's the best win, Russ?
One-arm bandit, George Groves.
Right, there we go. Put it to bed then, haven't we? One-arm bandit, George Groves, with shoulder hanging out at socket.
Yeah. Okay.
Put to bed, innit?
Yeah, it is, mate. Right, Roadman killer Sonny Edwards is beefing on social media. Every time I turn YouTube on, Sonny Edwards as beefing now. Has he got small man syndrome at 5'3" and 8 stone because he's not bothered about anybody? He's putting it on Anthony Fowler, and anybody who wants it can get it, except Bam Bam Rodriguez. What about that for a rematch? Good fight, that, isn't it?
Listen, I like Sonny, mate. I think his pundit work over the last few months has been good,
Pundit works good.
Yeah, you know, we can get behind that, but end of the day, it's done, eh? If you're going to talk a big game, got to back it up, kid. Got to go for it rematch, lad, and put it straight. It's what you got to do.
I mean, we've got an Eddie Hills fighter here losing a world title abroad and no rematch. It's a bit like Terry Harper when she got levelled against Boone Gardner. They had a rematch and they didn't take it. Sonny ain't got a rematch, but he's not screaming for a rematch. Am I confused here, or can you explain that a bit better to me, Chris?
Well, Russ, we know Hills, 6-0 Iceman. We know he loves a rematch cause, don't we?
Yeah.
Loves a rematch cause. Yeah, Dylan White penciled in for a rematch course against Povetkin when there was no belt on the line. He got iced by Povetkin and had the rematch like 4 months later, 5 months later, after Povetkin had been wiped with COVID. You've got Joshua. Every fight he fights, even though it's not even for a belt, it has a rematch clause in it. So you're telling me if Joshua fights Wallen, there's a rematch clause. I mean, the man absolutely loves a rematch. Everybody's got a rematch clause. So end of the day, Sonny. Sorry. If Sonny will have a rematch clause. So go on, let's get on with it, Sonny. Put it right. You know what I mean? I like him. I want it put it right. Can fight. So can his brother, but you know, it's he got outclassed, didn't he? He's got to go and just, you know, he's got to go for it. If he fights him again, he's got to put it on him.
Why do you think Matchroom won't give Charlie Edwards any dates? Do you think it's because he left under bad terms before?
Yeah, well, you know what Hills does, don't you? When you go to the other side thinking the grass is greener. I mean, look at what he's done to Josh Warrington.
I know. Is the Lee Wood fight's nowhere near now, is it?
I mean, surely. I mean, if you were ever going to get a fight to have a rematch, you give it to them two because I mean, end of the day, it were a good fight up until Warrington getting dropped like that, weren't it?
Yeah, Warrington were in control, wasn't he?
Yeah, dominated it. Absolute one side. You couldn't give Lee Wood a round. Couldn't even give him a 30-second block in any of them rounds. And then he spins Warrington on his head. And then after that, that's it. I mean, why can we not get a rematch for that? We get behind that, wouldn't we?
Of course we would. Warrington Wood's got to happen rematch, but why it can't happen, I don't know. It looks like maybe they don't want to risk it, or maybe they don't think it's an arena fight. Maybe they think it's an undercard fight on a big show in Saudi, or maybe they think it's I don't know, a 5,000 seater one. I'm not sure because it didn't do that many numbers, did it, last time, did it?
No, come on, Turkey Net. Get it on undercard, lad.
Yeah, I could get behind that fight. And I think Josh Warrington's had a raw deal if he don't get that fight, because normally you've only got to pick your nose on the shouting rematch, aren't they?
I mean, Josh Warrington's had a raw deal anyway, hasn't he, Russ? If you think about it, I mean, they put him in with that Lara, that Mexican kid. Whoever matchmade that must have got sacked. I mean, that were piss poor matchmaking. That terrible.
I know.
And that Lara spun him on his head, didn't he? Let's have it right. First time round, then second time round, it was like Warrington were looking for a way out. We know what happened with headbutt, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. Getting back to B2B, 20-0, 20 by way of 98 rounds. He averages 4.9 rounds a fight. He's run through everybody like a hot knife through butter. He's a roadman, isn't he? That's a proper roadman, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, AJ, if you're listening, which you might, I mean, we know Hills listens, don't we? But Eddie, that's a proper roadman killer, not one of your men, Joshua. He's not a roadman killer. B2B. I mean, I'll tell you, Ross. I mean, all you got to do is look at weight and look at what I text you this anyway. But look at body fat percentage of him. He's about 5% body fat. He's absolute. He's a machine.
I know.
He's a machine. I mean, no wonder he's knocking everybody out. I mean,
what body fat are you, Chris? What body percentage?
Well, a minute, probably about 20%, lad.
Oh, yeah. After Christmas.
Yeah. After Christmas, yeah. After Christmas, yeah. I'll be getting back
chicken breast down, Chris, at Christmas.
Yeah. 2 chicken breasts and some roasties.
HURRICANE. Go on. Is that what they call them in Chorley? Roasted.
Roast potatoes. I'd just call them roasties then. Yeah.
Tatties. Tatties.
Tatties.
Tatties. Like eating out the dog bowl.
Go on the tatties. No, I mean, back to Beta Beef. I mean, end of the day, you know, fundamentally as a boxer, he's solid. You know, he's got technically he's sound and he's got the power to back it up. I mean, he never forces the finish. He just grinds you down. And well, we've seen what he did to Callum Smith, didn't we? I mean, did we even give Smith a chance?
Yeah.
And did we give him a chance, Ross?
I didn't give Callum Smith a chance. No, I didn't.
No.
Mate. All them people that were saying it, they all had to say it because they're out there, aren't they? And they're on everybody else's steam in their hotel and on their bar bill. So they had to get the tongues out and lick, 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 gobble, 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 slurp, slurp, slurp. The slurpinators.
It's like Devinder Colwell on Twitter having an argument with Terry, saying why Callum Smith's going to win, saying, you know, he's gonna beat the old man, and Smith's in his prime, and you know, Batavia's at the end now. Well, Devinder got that wrong, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but he had to say that, didn't he? Because he's Eddie Hill's man, isn't he? If he were charging about saying, "Well, I think Callum Smith gets iced," it'd look bad for him, wouldn't it? Because he'd have to bump into one of the Smiths and probably Beefy and go up and put it on him and say, "Listen here, you going against our Callum, what do you think you're doing, you?" Do you know what I mean? So they have to say that because really deep down, he knew and Eddie Hills knew that it's an hard fight. They mind all that they'll beat him easy. Listen, they know the boxing, right? They know. And they know you've only got to look at Callum Smith's CV. Like I did, I kept thinking, God, can he win? And then I thought, look at it logically, like Julian always says to me. And I looked at his career and he swerved everybody. Right, and he waited and waited and waited it out, right? Waited it out in that top position at WBC for years, didn't he? And then when it come to it, and he had to take an hard fight, what did he do? He jumped over, didn't he, to WBA? Yeah. That's when I knew no bollocks, Chris.
I mean, realistically, I mean, I wrote it in the comments on the Mundo roast. I wrote it in the comments that I went through Box Rec on Sunday morning and I broke it down. And from the Callum Smith versus John Ryder robbery, he's had 3 fights in between that and the Batavia fight. One against Canelo, where he got smashed to bits, and then two other fights against absolutely nobodies, all in the space of 5 years. That's not enough. It was 5 years ago that John Ryder fight.
Yeah,
not enough.
Canelo fight 2018.
2021, the Canelo fight.
Groves fight with 2018, wasn't it?
18, yeah.
That's a long time for your best win, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but like the thing is though, I mean, can you even? I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter saying, can you even count the Groves as a win because he had one arm? I mean, really, if you had to say what was his best win, you'd say John Ryder in a robbery. Really?
You reckon?
I mean, well, you can't class the George Groves. I mean, listen, we don't mind Groves, the boy, do we? I know he had a bit of a chomp with the Cobra, like, but you know, George Groves when he's at his best, he's a good fighter, good solid fighter. Yeah. And it weren't a good solid fighter when Smith fought him, were he? He rang it pieces, masking tape, weren't it?
Yeah. So why didn't Caldwell and Eddie Hills come out and say, look, Callum Smith's CV is a bit patchy, and blah de blah, and he's up against a guy who's 19-0 at the time, running through everybody and bashing people's brains in, right, for fun. And they've got it in their heads that he's going to go out there and do him on his own patch. What were they thinking?
I mean, it's just the class. I mean, like you just said with Smith, then he waited around at BC and then jumped at BA, and then like it's just that typical Eddie Hearn, model of getting fighters who are really British/European level to a world championship. It's from rags to riches. He's moved them through choppy water, and he's got them there, hasn't he? Eventually, and when they've actually come up against
he gets them, doesn't he, to the promised land, and then he cashes them.
Yeah, and like really, I mean, we've seen it with Dillian White, we've seen it with Joshua. Who else do we see it? We've seen it with Bellew, never beat a champion. We've seen it with all these fighters. Whenever they get there to the promised land, like you said, and they're against world-class opposition or elitists, people who are elite, they get absolutely smashed to bits. Not even close.
Listen, I'm going to tell you the fight, right? And people are going to say, he's right. You know, after Carl Froch lost against Ward, right?
Yeah.
Eddie and Hearn were running around. This is a true story behind the scenes, getting him a 2-fight deal because he didn't believe that Carl Froch could beat Lucien Bute. I've heard back, mate. He didn't believe it. So he were like, well, I've got him 2 fights anyway. I've got him 2 fights. So if he gets beat in both, he's got 2 world title shots and 2 paydays. That for Eddie's enough 2 bites at cherry because he didn't think Froch were going to do Bute. And then once he knocked him, he jumped in ring too early, didn't he? Because he was that shocked. Probably because he backed Bute.
Yeah. I mean, let's have it. I mean, I know it's before my time, but looking back on it now, I mean, did anybody really give Froch a chance? Everybody wrote him off. It was underdog, weren't he, Froch, going into that?
I give him a chance because I was running around saying I'm Team Froch till I die, but I was like, God, that's an hard one, but I'm behind him. I knew it was an hard fight, but I just thought he could do it at home. It's just he gets a lift fighting at home, Carl. Never been beat, has he, in UK? Do you know what I mean?
No. That's why Andre Ward didn't want to fight him there.
He want to come over here, didn't he? He wanted it all his own way, his ring, his gloves, on his turf. He want to come over here. Right, Hills and Bellew, the slander of Batavia, no failed tests. Was it all done in bad taste, and why did they retreat?
I mean, let's just strip it back. I mean, look at Bellew. I mean, the man's a disgrace. I mean, look, you got Conor Benn failing a test there. I mean, shouldn't drug cheats be stoned in the streets, according to Eddie, and not to Eddie Hills, to Tony Bellew? Shouldn't drug cheats be stoned in the streets, according to Tony? So, if that's the case, why has Conor Benn not been put to the sword and put in streets and stoned? I mean, it's the same attitude for everybody, isn't it? Really, it should be anyway, Tony.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just stripping it back, and then that's just one of them. You've got Billy Joe, he's failed one. Dillian White, he's failed 2 now. Who else has failed? Who else has failed? Galahad, he's failed 1. Didn't say a word on that. I mean, it's just typical Tony, isn't it? He just picks and chooses. Boom Gardner, he's not set out on that.
Yeah, Tony picks and chooses his battles, but you're not allowed to get a win against the Rotunda without Tony having his say. It's the world according to Tony. That's why a lot of people, when he pipes up, they go, Tony's world.
It's Fantasy Island, isn't it? Is he on the same island as John Fury and Joe Egan?
Nobody is on the same island as John Fury and Joe Egan. Nobody. The two big J's. Nobody is on the same. I mean, my mate Dale Nichols were doing cartwheels when he hears that Big Joe Egan's calling out Big John, because everybody knows Big John's put him up to it to stay in mix. Big John didn't even go to press because he didn't want to be told by El Turkey, "Get gone, you're a nuisance, you're a crank." Well, Big Top's not going to have a crank round him, is he?
No.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think a crank's drawn that bloody concept out. What's all that about? Street Fighter concept. What's all that about?
I don't know, mate. But listen, Eddie and Frank wouldn't have gone for that, but they're not going to go against El Sheik or whatever he's called, El Turkey bloke. They're just going to let him do what he wants, aren't they? When he tells them to hold hands, they hold hands. When he says clap, they clap like seals, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. You saw him, didn't you, shaking their heads?
Chris, have you ever seen anybody control Bricktop and Eddie Hills like Turkey does?
No, he's obviously got some serious money behind him, hasn't he?
Of course he has. That's why they're hanging out at the back of his arsehole.
No, I mean, what about this 5v5, Russ? I mean, haven't we been screaming about this for years? And then all of a sudden, it's going to happen, but not in Britain.
Yeah, 14 years we've been begging for this. They've done what? 11 or 12 fights in 13, 14 years. And now all of a sudden we've got 5 on one night. They all want to be pals now. But in Saudi, what about the UK fans? Where do the UK fans stand now?
And what does Eddie Hills always say, Russ? For the fans.
What fans, isn't it?
For the fans. It's all. This is what they keep saying. Frank keeps saying it. Oh, well, you know, the boxing fans, you know, they're in for a treat and this and that. Why is it not over here? Why is it not over here at ticket prices, not on StubHub, ticket prices that, you know, the normal working man can afford to go to? Why is it out there? You telling me I've paid $2.5 grand, $3 grand, go out there watching out of boxing?
I know.
Do me a favour.
I know. It's not good, is it, mate?
Bit of fantasy matchmaking though, Russ. Go on. If we're gonna have the 5v5, what we're saying?
Joshua Fury.
Yeah, 1.
Opitaya against Yard, stepping up to cruiserweight.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
That's 2. Has he got any women, Frankie? Has he?
No, he's not got any women.
He don't have any now. He's working with Saudis, there he?
No, not a chance. Not on the Ornelli.
That's 2 I'd like to see. Who's the other one that he's got that I like? Who's that? Dennis McCann. I like him. Who could they match him with? Who Eddie's got?
You could put him in with it. It depends. Put him in like a Warrington or something like that. Really, have Dennis step up.
Yeah, yeah. Could do.
Why not? That's a good fight, isn't it? Josh Warrington's on verge of being a gatekeeper. Let's get it on.
Yeah, yeah. Dennis McCann, Josh Warrington. I'm sure they could make that work, couldn't they?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Charlie Edwards and Sonny Edwards if Charlie signs for Bricktop.
Yeah, it could make. Well, they've spoke about it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've spoke about it. Why not? Get them at
I mean,
it. No brothers fighting. They must have sparred it past.
I mean, I was thinking about it today. Why not? If Nick Ball wins this belt on this Fist of Fury card or whatever it is, this fight night card. If Nick Ball wins that belt, let's get Sonny Edwards versus Nick Ball on. Why not? Sonny wants the belt, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sonny's a roadman, and he'll take anybody on. He's not threatening to anybody. He's got skills, so why not?
I mean, we know Nick Ball's a roadman killer, don't we?
Yeah,
he can bang, can he?
Yeah, they can. Chris, do you think that the cruiserweight division's hotting up because there's rumours Yard's going to move up? Callum Johnson's already moved up. There's Riak Porte. Coley still doesn't know what he's doing. There's Chris Billham-Smith. Do you think that they could have a little bit of a tournament at that weight?
Russ, sizzling, isn't it? I'll be honest with you, mate. There's only one man who rules, Callum Johnson. The only man put Batavia on his back.
Yeah.
There's only one man for me. He's dangerous, and if he can come back and he's under George Gallagher and he's back in fighting shape and he can bang Callum, he's one who he'll put them all on the back.
Yeah. What did you think to Flex's comments saying that Carl Frochter's last proper world champion this country's had?
Well, I think Flex is he's just saying it how it is for once, isn't he? Instead of spinning that narrative.
Do you think Flex?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, really, I mean, if you think about it, Carl is probably the last proper world champion we've had. I mean, who've we had since? I mean, can't class Tyson as a proper world champion. Picks and chooses. Joshua, he's another one. Paper champion, picks and chooses. Who else have we got?
God.
I mean, what? Pussy in a spliff, Lawrence Sokoli. He's
not a belt now. He hasn't got a belt.
Not got a belt. I know, yeah. Chris Billham-Smith. I mean, Chris Billham-Smith is here. You know what I mean? Like they've just not got the CV behind him, have they? Yet? I mean, I'm not knocking Chris Billham-Smith, but he's not got the names on there yet, has he? He's got to go through him, hasn't he?
If I were Chris Billham-Smith, I'd hand that belt in, vacate, and tell him I want to be mandatory at WBO at heavyweight, and I'd cause some right knackers if I were his manager. I said, get that belt handed in. We're going to park you up. You're now mandatory for WBO. Because that's in the WBO rules, isn't it? And they can't stop it, can they? Yeah.
Well, look at what Usyk did it, didn't he? So
why can't Chris Billham-Smith?
Well, you know what I mean. They're not managed, but I mean, all these managers and this and that and the promoters. I mean, what they're doing for him, absolutely nothing. So what Sam Jones did for the Juggernaut, didn't we?
Nothing.
Poor thingy, poor Joe Joyce. All that time mandatory, and what happened? Got banged up by a Chinaman, Zhang.
What's he done for Florian Marku?
Zilch, Florian Marku. When was the last time Florian Marku even fought?
I don't know. It's a joke.
He's got poor Jack Catterall now. He's gonna absolutely destroy Catterall's career now. as if it's not been destroyed enough by getting robbed.
Yeah, he's signed Jack Cattrall and his Sam Jones. What's he doing with him? Is he getting him Taylor fight?
No, nothing. Zilch. Well, come on, Russ. We got to put it on Sam Jones. We got to get him on. We got to get him on the pig pen, and you got to put it on him, mate.
Sam Jones, you're a weapon and a slurpinator. Gobble, 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 gobble. Stop it, Sam. But rinse your mouth out with TCP before you talk to boxing people after you've been doing what you've been doing. All right, you're a grown man. Grow a pair. All right.
Yeah, absolutely pathetic. Sam Jones, get a grip. Manager, you absolutely shafting his own fighters over. He had the power. He had the power to get Joe Joyce in there against Usyk, and what happened? Flapped it. Trying to be everybody's pal, and where did it get Joe Joyce? Nowhere. He's on Skid Row now. Bashed up twice, and where is he? He's on the arse end of Skid Row.
What do you think to Opatia against Bradis too?
Make it happen. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, Opatia is he's a good lad, and he's a killer, isn't he? He's another one to get one of them. He's just a hard man, isn't he? And end of the day, why can we not? Do we not deserve these fights as boxing fans? I mean, it's not like he's going to fight anybody else, is it? I mean, who else is? I mean, if Yard goes up, then yeah, whatever. But I mean, who else is there at minute?
No one, is there?
No, I mean we know Callum Johnson's had a fight the other week, but he's nowhere near ready for that. Yeah, he's nowhere near ready.
He needs a few more fights at cruiserweight, Callum Johnson, doesn't
he? Yeah. He needs to. I mean, if I were Callum Johnson, like Joe Gallagher, would be thinking same. I'd just be working through levels, keep climbing up them rankings, because at the end of the day, he'll just smash through him, Callum Johnson. I mean, he was an hard hitter at light heavy, and he's got that even more weight behind him. He's not going to hit any less harder, is he? Going to hit harder, if anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just climbing through rankings and get there. End of the day, make him fight you. He fought Paterviev, and look what happened. All them people saying, yeah, I'd give him his hardest fight. Let's have it right. Johnson, weren't it? With 50-50.
Yeah, it was.
Put some respect on his name and Joe Gallagher's name. Never mind Tunde and Yard. Give it a rest.
Oh, no. Hey?
Lions in the camp, Russ. Lion bars.
Lion bars in the camp. Don't tell Dave Allen if there's lion bars hanging about. He'll hoover them up.
Yeah, fucking. That's speaking of Skid Row. Dave is on Skid Row, and it by the looks of it.
I feel sorry for Dave, actually, really, because he's had a raw deal, hasn't he, from Match. Let's have it right. He spilt guts for him, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, Dave Allen's biggest mistake, and you'll agree, Russ, we think back, I've been coming on years, and I said it back then, was when he didn't sign that 200-gram fight to fight Dubois and then Joyce after, weren't it? That was his biggest mistake. That was it. A 2-fight deal with Bricktot. Was it like 200 grand, Russ, something like
that? It were more than that, wasn't it? It were a package if he lost and all that, and various other fights. But Eddie said he'd match it, and he didn't, did he? And I don't think he ever recovered from that mentally. He ate himself to death after that.
Yeah, and like I said, that was a turning point. After that, it was just, he had the whole thing with Dorian Darch over his head, and that were it. After that was the turning point, and then ever since, he's just not recovered from that. He's just not got back to it. But he has had a raw deal. We know what happened, didn't we, with Ortiz and and White, throwing him in with them two. He had a raw deal there, to be fair. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. Could have done more with himself. He didn't apply himself, did he, when he needed to?
Yeah. Well, we're out of time, Chris. So thanks for coming on.
No worries, Russ. Pleasure as always, pal.
Listen, you've blown some steam off of some cobwebs tonight. Respect, mate. And
I'll fuming, Ross.
All right.
Cheers, no worries, pal. I'll see you in a bit. I'll speak to you later, pal. See you in a bit.
All right. All that were Chris Burns from Chorley. Women love him. Men want to be him. So, okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka! Pop, pop, bang.